Today it is my pleasure to show you some of the creative art pieces that my clients and others have done. I want to say to you that I have changed the details on these art pieces to protect the confidentiality of my clients, and that each client has given me the utmost permission to use their pieces. So let's get that straight right away, that what you see may reflect exactly what the client wants it to, but it may be with different details. The first thing I'd like to mention to you is the journal. And a journal is a place that you can have contemplative time, writing your thoughts and feelings, and it is a time when you can really express in a unrushed way your most innermost thoughts, your self-awarenesses. And I encourage you to use a journal. Most of my clients journal, but for those of you who are doing your work at home, I certainly encourage you to get yourself a nice journal and start writing. Most of my work deals with collages because they're so easy to do. And the first collage I'd like to show you is mine. And this reflects the transition that I went through when I changed to virtual psychotherapy. And up here there's a little cutout that says navigating the past. And then it talks about the new normal, and it talks about transitions taking a long time. And it was my little moment in time when I cut out a few sayings from magazines that were relevant to me. The next one I will show you has to do with a client a long time ago. He was struggling with his childhood, and here is a picture on a piece of barnwood that is very, very lovely, reflecting a lonely child up in an attic probably. And for him, that was his point in his self-discovery. One of my clients said, I cannot draw anything but a stick figure. And so I said, well, try to draw a self-portrait, and you can use stick figures to do it. This is what he came up with, and I thought it was fabulous. It's a self-portrait of a man with his mouth wide open, either singing or shouting or asserting himself, and I thought that that was a fabulous piece of work. This is a very complicated but lovely piece of work. And this is another client's view of herself in her journey at this time. And if you can tell what that is, more power to you, but I think I just accept it as an abstract. Another of my clients complained about not having any creative talent. And so I suggested getting a bulletin board and putting her photographs, she's an excellent photographer, on the bulletin board in an arrangement, which she did, and I thought it was a lovely artistic creation. And it has a function too. She uses it in her window to be a screen from the next door neighbors. During the closure of one of my clients' experiences, it was very difficult. There was a combination of joy and a combination of grief. And that often is the case when a person finishes therapy. This is a collage at the very last session that she did, and it says, a walk in the woods. It indicates the place I referred her to get support, and it also talks about her grief over leaving therapy. When I was younger, before I started working in private practice, I worked at an all-black agency, and it was a exercise in choosing someone that you particularly cared about and making a painting for that person. This is the young African American man. Whoops, I've got that one upside down. Let me turn that around so you can see it. Out of his head comes all different colors. And down at the foundation comes all different colors. And the inscription on the piece of work is a new world. And I felt so pleased with that the sense at that time was that we are moving into a new world, and perhaps it will be a new world, and it will be a better world. We'll have to see. This right here is a person's concept of themselves at this point in their self-discovery. And if you can see, that looks like a person in a tree. It does to me. What about to you? If it does, then more power to you. I think that's what it is. It's her expression of this point in time in her self-discovery journey. The next piece is from a person who dreams and has visions of a landscape, and this is it. It is a hill with evergreen trees going up the hill, and it's a recurrent vision she has. It is reflected in many art pieces that she has done, and I was privileged enough to have one of those art pieces in my office a number of years ago, and I'll have to tell you, my client said, that is really depressing. That was the one she had done in brown, and this is a more recent one, and perhaps reflects a little more encouragement. I believe that if there is such a thing as dopamine being excreted by an artistic creative endeavor, that this artist is bound to have a ton of dopamine when she takes on the task of painting. And then finally, I'd like to show you a collage that one of my clients is working with, and he has a lot of struggle with his relationship with his spirituality. Grew up in a very strict religious home, and he says that, are you close with God? Are you close with God? Or are you distant with God? And it says, if you are distant with God, what is your answer? And you'll see that big yes. And he puts up at the top of the collage, shame and fear keep me from being close to God. Down at the bottom, he talks about, are you there to God? And the answer is negative. I am not there. And then there is the saying, he is with us always and has a special time and place for everything in our lives. So an optimistic ending. This is the third and final part, I guess I would say, of our series on self-discovery, and that is next week. And I will be talking about spirituality and psychology. It's very, very hard to talk about self-discovery without including the spiritual piece. And as challenging as it may be, we will address that together. And I hope that you'll send some comments on that one. I look forward to seeing you then.